Right, back again. The machine's now in its final position and it's on the floor. So be more precise to say I took the pallet out from underneath it using the chainsaw, and it's now on its pads leveled up. So I'll give you a quick run through and see what we've got. So if we start at the tailstock end, the number 5 Morse taper live centre. Interesting on the tailstock, it's got small roller bearings under here, and on and running on top of the back V to make the tailstock slightly easier to slide. It still requires a bit of a push, but it's too heavy for me to lift on its own. I took it off the machine by myself and nearly dropped it on the floor. Putting it back, I took it to pieces and put it back bit by bit. It's also got a double lock-in lever, so the lever here operates on a, I don't know, class 1 or no, class 2 lever I think it is, to provide the load in between these two bolts, so it brings up the clamping plate evenly, so that seems to work quite nicely. It's got quite a nice thing where the oil that you poke in here goes along a groove and ends up lubricating the rear end of the screw and the nut, which is quite a nice feature. The normal offset mechanisms, the wipers on the front, not much more I can say other than a nice little touch with the little bit of balance weight to offset the weight of the winding handle. Lead screw guards, part of the CE spec. Come onto the carriage, we've got the rapid controls here, which I'll try and show you with the machine running in a few minutes. Carriage assembly, we've got the lead screw engagement here, the forward and reverse. This is a mechanical forward and reverse that operates the lever or the rod here that goes through the back of the headstock and operates a clutch up in the back corner of the gearbox. So that that means the motor doesn't have to be stopped and started every time, which for me is a little bit of a problem in that the electricity supply here is only 10.4 kilowatts 3-phase. So starting a 10 horsepower 7.5 kilowatt motor is a bit of a struggle. In fact, it wouldn't do it, so I've installed a soft start mechanism up here, which is an Allen Bradley device. I did have a Chinese 3-phase inverter on it, but I managed to blow that one up, so that wasn't too successful. So basic controls, we've got the speed levers here with a neutral position that it's in at the moment. Red for that one, yellow for that one, silver for that one, so red, yellow, silver. So interesting, goes down to about 9 RPM and up to 1600, which for me was the low speed was more important than the high speed. If we come across here, we've got the neutral for the feeds, and we've got left hand and right hand coarse screw cutting, and left hand and right hand fine screw cutting. So if I show you the chart here, you may be able to read it. It will cut threads with a ginormous pitch up to 224 millimeters, I think it is, which is about an 8-inch pitch. So that says 1/8, that actually means 8 inches. And all the normal fine threads and things. The only ones it won't cut by waggling the knobs and the levers is 19, 23, 9.5, sorry, 19 and 9.5. So it requires one gear to be interchanged from the 57 to the 56. I've only ever cut 19 threads per inch once in my life, so I don't think that's going to be a big problem. And all the normal feeds and speeds for traversing and longitudinal feed as per what you'd expect. We've got some warning labels down here, and this is the selector for imperial threads, metric threads, module threads and diametral pitch threads, or worms, or maybe I should call those. The main lever for setting up the speeds and feeds, and the second lever for speeds and feeds with, if you can just see under there, another set of numbers. So that's pretty good. Oil leveling gearbox, all the switches and things. Oil leveling headstock, a little telltale that you can see whether the oil's pumping around. The headstock has a little oil pump in it, similar to what you've got in your car. I forget what they call them now, with the rotating gears. So you can see that it's getting lubrication all the time. It's got a 3 bearing spindle, so you've got bearings at the front, bearings at the rear, and bearings in the centre. And I'm not going to take the top off to show you because it looks like quite a job. The chuck guard, as per CE spec, is interlocked. Now that's a real pain because I don't want to keep stopping the motor every time I have to go and change the chuck. So I'm sure you can work out what we've done to that one. So I will now see whether we can start her up. So we've got some power on, we're in neutral, and why have we not come on?